And there we are. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys are having a great night. I hope everybody's been having, I hope you had a good weekend. We ended up having a freaking absolute gorgeous day today here. After all the rain we've had, it's been nice to actually have a nice weather day. So, um, hold on a second. We got to. All right. Before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, then those awesome people lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. All right. So, all right. Let's. Actually, looking at something here. Hold on a second. Okay. I thought there was dirt on that for a second. I'm like, how did dirt get on that? But it wasn't dirt. All right. Oh, okay. Yes, I have a fan on because it's very warm in the camper. Actually, it is cooled down to 83 in here. So yeah, I have a fan on. Actually, I should probably turn it because it's actually blowing that way. Give me 1 second. Let me adjust this. That's better. Now it's actually blowing on me. It was kind of blowing this way, and I could sort of feel it, but now it feels better. All right. Uh, I actually had the AC on earlier today, and I was, but yeah, I don't use the AC a ton, to be honest with you. I mean, I can. The system could handle it. It's not a matter of that, but it's a matter of I just generally, if I can run fans and cool it down that way, that generally works for me. I don't need to be sitting in an ice box. So, once if it creeps towards 90, then I close things up and turn the air conditioner on and bring it down. So, but other than that, I generally don't. All right. So, um, what are we really being distracted from? Right. So we have talked about, what have we seen in the news recently? Right. So I want you to think about this, guys. Okay, because everything is done for a reason. Everything is a purpose why they do what they do. Right. So we saw a big push about the submarine. It wasn't really a submarine. The submersible. There you go. The submersible that you know imploded. Actually, many days before they actually told us that it imploded. Uh, so that was in the news, and you saw that all over the place. And oh, are they still alive? And there's a big rescue effort, and blah 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 blah. Right? And we all saw that. I mean, it was like front page news, and all that type of stuff. Also, front page news: the situation over there in Russia. There's the big coup that's going to happen, and blah blah blah. So we had that whole thing until that got dismissed. But what are you really not hearing about, right? What are we really not hearing about? We're not really hearing a lot about the sweetheart deal that Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden got, and how if it was you or I that had done what Hunter Biden had done, they would bury us under the jail, right? Uh, they would absolutely bury us under the jail. The Yellowstone River, there's another thing, yep, that's going on. You're not hearing a ton about. The bridge collapsed. The toxic chemicals from the train in the river. How bad is that situation? It just and you look at all these derailments, and we had one down here, not too far from where I live. And that affected the waterway as well because the diesel fuel The lost and stolen ammonium nitrate. Yep, there's another one you're not hearing a lot about. And you want let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that's a great one because you really didn't see a lot about that either because they briefly touched on it and then off to something else. That's a big deal. That's a big deal because that can make a lot of explosives. A lot of it was, I don't remember exactly what the amount was, but I know it was a tremendous amount that was either missing. I love when they say missing or lost. Lost. You know, most likely it was stolen. You know, yeah. And where's that? 120,000 pounds. All right, thanks, Grace. I appreciate you saying that. That's a lot. That is a lot, and that can do a lot of damage in a lot of places. You know, the you the audio is awful. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? Everybody fine? Okay. No, no problem. All right. All right. Well, okay. Thank you, guys. I don't know if it's most people are saying it's fine. So you have a lot of situations that are happening that they're not talking about. They're going to always want to distract you with the nonsensical things that make no difference in the world at all. Okay. If five rich, I mean, super rich a-holes bite it by doing something stupid, I mean, I don't wish for anybody to die, anybody, okay? But why should I care about somebody that paid 240,000, I believe it was, a piece to go down and look at the Titanic? You can't think of better things to do with that money. I mean, realistically, if you are that rich, let's talk about this for a second. If you are that rich that you're going to spend your money to do that, or the other ones, and people don't talk about this really, your passengers up to this international space station paying what 5 million a pop, I think it was 5 million a pop to go up to the international space station, right? So when you no bee sting, no, actually what that is up here is poison ivy. So that's a mixture of uh, white vinegar and baking soda, which absolutely kills the itch, and it also dries it out really, really quickly. So, yeah, I wouldn't go in a submersible either. They couldn't pay me to go in a submersible, especially when there's risk and you may die and you have to sign a waiver off, saying that, that type of thing. But anyway, my point is this. Um, Yeah, I have a fan on, so if you guys are having any issues hearing me, it's probably because I have the fan on. I'm not going to turn it off because it's warm in here, and that is helping me stay cooler. So, um, but anyway, uh, you know, these people have more money than they know what to do with, and instead of putting it towards something productive or good, which they could do, they don't, right? It is amazing to me, and then we're supposed to care. I mean, realistically, if you think about it, then we're supposed to care because then they have an issue. Uh, you know, it's sad that those people lost their lives. That I'm not going to say. Yeah, and it's ego. Yeah, exactly. Raccoon eyes. I don't disagree with you at all on that. They want to be able to say, well, I was one of the people. I've been down to the Titanic. Who cares? That's realistically that would be my response. I was talking about it with one of my group members, and he was like, "Man, I'm good with just looking at the pictures that they took," and I'm like, "Man, I am the same way. I would have no desire to do that, none whatsoever." It just you take stupid chances like that, and it's something that could cost you your life. Life is so short. It really, truly is, and you know, I was watching the other day. I was watching the nomadic movement. Okay, and I wanted to share this with you. And he's been going all out and working on getting his electrical set up, for his, their bathroom that they're going to have put in and sauna and stuff like that, which good for them. But he's putting in like ridiculously long days, and he's trying to run a business on top of it. And his girlfriend is saying, oh, he just, he's doing too much, and he's like, well, this is a point in time where I can really push and do that. I'll have time later to do other things. And I did want to talk about it. And I'm not bashing him at all, because I'm going to tell you right now, for years, I worked ridiculous hours because I had a family and I was trying to support my family, and I put in crazy hours for years and years and years. And, but what the problem is when you do that, okay, life passes you by. It really truly does. You blink and you look at, life, and you realize how much you've missed and what you could have done and would have done and should have done. Having dealt with older people as long as I have, and the stories that I heard, one of the biggest things that I always heard from them was, do things while you're young. Don't wait till you're old, because when you want to wait till you're older and you're retired, you might not be able to do it. You might not be able to do it. So it's really important to take that time, enjoy life, go and do what you want to do now. And I would always reiterate that. I have been all over this country. I've been up through Canada. I've been down in Mexico. I've never been overseas, but I really never had a desire to go overseas. There's too many things here in the United States that I could look at and do and see. You know, there places over there that I think would be fun? Sure, But the thing is, it's like there's so many things here that you can do. And I'll tell you, it's like now today, I was moving gravel today, spreading more stone out and stuff like that. And I had done it a few days ago, and I did it until my shoulder said, "Okay, that's enough for today." And so that's exactly what I did today too. I wanted to do more. I absolutely wanted to do more today, but I wanted to do more, but my shoulder said, "Nope, you're done." You have to listen to your body. As you get older, and I don't get old by any stretch. I will tell you, I don't. But I can't go like I used to go. I'm pushing 60 years old now, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, it really pisses me off. I'll be honest with you, because there's so much more I want to do and get accomplished. But I have to continue to remember, just steady, steady, steady. Don't hurt yourself. Do what you can do, and you just go from there. And but it's frustrating. I will tell you. So my point is this: when you get older, you're sometimes physically you're not able to do what you want to do, what you had hoped to do, and stuff like that. You have to pace yourself. You have to look at things like that. Again, I'm going to always encourage you, if you got a chance to get out and travel, do different things, do it. Even if you're taking a week, 1 week a year, if you're taking a weekend here and there, when you can do about it, you know. Oh yes, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about that, Sharon, too. We'll talk about that. Um, yes, so, but anyway, it's you have to just do what you can. Go out and enjoy your life. Spend that time with your family. Make those memories that those kids will remember. That's important, and that's just what I'm going to say with that, because you're going to blink and they're going to be gone. So Sharon just put up there about that the lab meat that has been approved by, I believe, the FDA to be grown and sold in the United States. I'm like, really? I mean, I don't know. Band aids and beans. I want to see all 50 states. I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them, I'll tell you. And, getting an opportunity to go out and do different things, great memories, great memories. They can't take the memories away from you, and especially when you get to do things with your family and share that with them so they can see different things. Like taking the kids, just as an example, we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, and that was fun, and it was a nice memory. And the twins were like 10 or 11, and Josh, was like 16 at the 15, 16 at the 16, I think, at the time. So no, 16 or 17, but it depends on the family. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, you know, lots of distractions. They don't want you to see certain things. I'm not going to talk about it very much. The whole Biden situation. Why are they not investigating that further? Right? They've even talked about they don't believe that any more charges would be brought up against him or anything like that. Well, what about all the money, right? And how much of that money got funneled to his father? I mean, that's a question. I'm not saying that it was. I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm just I have curiosity. Was any of that money funneled to his dad? So you have to you know how are the bees? Bees are awesome. Just was out there today and changed their water today. Real active, so they're doing great. But but yeah, so you have. Here's what I find interesting. So a lot of these politicians go into politics, right? Into politics. Uh, they're not wealthy when they go in. But boy, sure, a whole lot of them are when they come out. I know that they had touched on insider trading, right? They had touched on it, but there's nothing ever been said that okay, well, like if I'm on the energy board, okay, so I'm on the energy board and I'm a congressman on the energy board, and let's go with Duke Energy. Why not, right? When I was in North Carolina, I had Duke Energy. So Duke Energy has a project that they want to have approved and pushed through. And I realize that Duke Energy wants to do that, and I'm part of that board that's deciding if Duke Energy can do it or not. So I've gone out and I bought a whole bunch of Duke Energy stock, right? Because I know we're going to approve it, which is going to make the company's stock go through the roof. So that's the type of stuff that happens constantly, constantly. And why is that not being shut down? And why are these people allowed, to do that, right? I mean, and you look at the corruption. Just look at New York politics. I mean, the corruption in the New York politics it's legendary. you know, it's amazing. Apparently, common knowledge in D.C., but that a setter can be bought as low as 10K, but Lindsay is 10 million. Oh my God, that's too funny. Yeah, it's just it is. No, I didn't work for Duke Energy. No, I when I lived in North Carolina, I paid Duke Energy for my power. That was a long time ago. That was more. That was before I became energy independent, basically. And here's what I think is funny too. Okay, so when I say I'm independent, off grid, blah blah blah, right? And people say to me, well, in the wintertime you have to supplement and use the generator. Well, yeah, that's part of what happens. As you continue to build your system out, you're building your system to compensate for the winter. I got enough batteries. I absolutely have batteries. As far as that goes, but I would need more solar panels to be able to collect more power for the winter. I mean, that's so right now with what I have six 360-watt solar panels, right? Yeah, lobbying is legal. It's a type of bribe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, but anyway, if I double my production of solar panels, that would be more than enough should be more than enough to compensate me in the winter. I'm thinking. I don't know 100% for sure because I haven't built it up to that level to see where we're at. But you know, I didn't have problems until November of last year, and basically from March I really haven't had to use the solar or the generator for the solar panels. So, like, even with this stretch of inclement weather, okay, we ended up getting enough sunshine where I did not have to run that generator at all. So, like, I mean, the system here that I have down here, the 48-volt system, has done really, really well. I have not had to supplement that, so that makes a big, big difference. But again, you're learning, right? And one of the beauties, folks, of actually doing it and living off grid. You find out what works, you find out what doesn't work. You know what you need to do. You know what adjustments that you have to make. and then you make them. You know, right now I don't need more solar panels because my batteries are topped off 9 times out of 10 by 10 o'clock in the morning because we're getting plenty of sunshine. But as we get later in the days are getting shorter now because we've had the summer solstice. Once we get up to November and we're not getting as many sunny days, that's going to make a difference. So, but yeah, politicians are supposed to be working for the people, not special interest groups. But we all know that that is not the case, Sonia. Special interest groups, big business, that's who they answer to. They do not answer to us. I mean, that's kind of a reality. It happens. I mean, and I've talked about that before. If there's a politician over here, right, that says no, I'm not going to do your bidding. Oh yeah, I realize you made this huge contribution for me for the election, but I'm not going to do your bidding. They're going to get the next guy that comes in, and they're going to give him that money. And guess what? Because they want that money coming in for their elections. That's how they stay in power. And when they're, that old saying, one hand washes another, right? You know, with anything, if you have the right people surrounding you, things get done. It's no different for politicians. I mean, a lot of those politicians, the ones. Here's the thing: I think people, they talk crap about Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, Biden. Uh, oh my God, I'm trying to think. Lindsey Graham. Any of those politicians that have been in office for 30 plus years, right? They or 20, even 20 plus years. They're in that position because they know how to play the game and they've mastered how to play the game and they continue to make money and they're going to continue to make money. That's just a reality, and it's not going to change. It's just not going to change uh, until it's all torn down. It's never going to change. So the point is, yeah, term limits. Yeah, but see, the thing is, they would be the ones, Larry. They would be the ones, the politicians, that would have to say, okay, yes, we're going to implement term limits. Well, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because that hurts them. You can't keep making all kinds of money, if there's term limits. So, that's just part of the deal. What are we at? 502 in the chat, guys. We're at 176 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. So I appreciate you throwing a thumbs up for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that as well. So, but yeah, it's just, there's distractions constantly happening. There's always going to be distractions. They're gonna, if something bad happens, right? Uh, they're going to try to come up with something really quickly to distract us because people have a very limited. I don't want to say. Trying to think of the right way to say it. A very limited time frame where they give a crap about something and then they move on to the next thing. Unless you are vested in a project, you won't let it go. But most of the people, they don't care. I mean, let me ask a question. All right. So now, situation that happened up in Ohio. Have you heard any more about that in the news? Excuse me, recently. Anything in the news about that and how those people are doing, how the cleanup is going, what's happening over there? Are those people being compensated? Are they not being compensated? Are they able to go back to their homes? Not able to go back to their homes? Uh, you know, have you seen anything about that? Right? You're not seeing that because that was yesterday. We don't care about that no more. Very limited attention spans. That's what I think I was trying to get at. You know, and people just don't care. They don't care because you know why? It don't affect them. It doesn't affect them. So, but it affects those people in Ohio. They care. I guarantee you they care, and they're probably still trying to make noise about it. But the news crews are gone, folks. Right? the politicians that came in glad handed and and said, "Oh, we're here for you and we're gonna support you," they're long gone because they're on to the low attention span. Exactly. They're on to the next thing. And whatever the next thing is, remember, see, here's the thing that's important about it, which you have to understand too. The news that we are getting from these news outlets, that is the news that you are approved to get. That's what the news you're approved to get. So there's somebody higher up that says, this is what you're going to report, and this is how you're going to report it. And if you don't, you're gone. They're not going to have that where somebody can come in and say this, that, or the other thing that goes against whatever the agenda is, whatever the narrative is, and heaven forbid that you question any